The Auburn Tigers take game one 6-5 Friday night. Let's talk about it.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, Auburn baseball fans? How are we doing on this Saturday morning? The Auburn Tigers pull out a victory 6-5 Friday night. What a night. It was a 3-hour rain delay. People had to sit at Plainsman. They didn't know if the game was ever going to start. They didn't know if we were going to play. They kept pushing it back. They pushed the start time back. They said, we'll reassess at 7. Then they pushed it back to 8. Then they come back and they said, hey, we're not starting until 9:15. So it was going to be a late night. It was after midnight, around 1 a.m. I stayed up myself and watched Tennessee and LSU till 2 a.m. What a classic game that was. LSU with the walk-off bomb. Bear Jones hit that thing to Lafayette, Louisiana. What a night of college baseball it was last night, all around the SEC. I think this is the deepest the SEC has been in quite some time. You just have so many good teams. The records might not say it, but look at Mississippi State, y'all. Look at Mississippi State. Pico Khan is an elite Friday night guy. He is an elite SEC Friday night starter. And I thought he pitched really well last night. And he gave Mississippi State the opportunity to be in the baseball game. And that is what you need from your Friday night guy. You need, when he leaves the game, for you to still be in contention, for you to still have that opportunity. And this is a guy that gutted it out, man, 120 pitches or something like that around that area. He went 6 2/3. He extended the game for Mississippi State. He gave them the chance to just be in it in the end and have an opportunity to win a game on the road. It didn't happen for the Bulldogs. I think we're all proud of that. We needed this win after getting swept at Texas last weekend, and we were 9-9 in the SEC. We know what series we have coming to us. So this Mississippi State series was, in my opinion, the biggest series of the year. I put that on my Instagram story the other night, and I was going to go live last night, but with the 9:15 first pitch, I was like, yeah, man, that's really late. I didn't know how many people would be up with me. So I decided to push this to Saturday morning and just do a recap episode. But we knew how big this game was, right? And you had to get above 500 this weekend, especially going to Knoxville next weekend. And like I just mentioned, what a brutal ending to their game last night for the Vols and Tony V. But you had to get this series, and I would love a sweep. I just know how ridiculously hard it is to sweep somebody. And I know we just swept LSU, but it's SEC baseball, and it's extremely difficult to win 3 games in a row in this conference. But last night was a great starting point. You saw some guys, especially the young guys, start to get it rolling again on the offensive side. And I'll start there. I think Chris Rembert is the player of the game. You know, looking outside of Sammy D, you look on the offensive side, and Chris Rembert has to get that player of the game. The kid was 4 for 4 last night, had multiple grade ABs. I mean, flip on the film and watch a Chris Rembert at bat. This is a freshman out of Pensacola, Florida, a highly rated shortstop coming out of high school. He's played a little bit of second this year. He can play the outfield. He was in the DH role last night. And boy, what a shot in the arm he was, right? He had that big hit in the 4th inning that really tied the game. Well, no, we took the lead 4-2, actually. Chase Fralick started that inning with the base hit out into left. He made it a 2-1 game. Eric Guevara comes up, hits the sac fly, makes it 2-2. And then Rembert comes up and gets the base hit down the left field line, and we take the lead 4-2. So he was incredible last night. Just the way he works the count. He doesn't get cheated. He doesn't really chase. There's not a whole lot of swing and miss like outside of the zone. He's an exceptional player for the Auburn Tigers. And look, man, we struggled last weekend at the plate, right? And we struggled a little bit last night at the plate. But if you can get some of these cats to turn it on like a Chris Rembert, I think this Auburn offense can be really, really good. And I'll talk about a guy who I think is very, very crucial who showed up last night in just a minute. But, let's talk about Sammy D. We talk about Chris Rembert on the offensive side, and he's the player of the game. Let's talk about Sammy D and what he gives you on Friday nights. And I think, like we looked at Pico Khan for Mississippi State, Sammy D gives you the opportunity to take the first game in every series you play in, and you're not afraid to throw him against anybody. And that is what you've got to have in the SEC, is you've got to have that one guy on Friday where you can look at him and say, hey, go get me a dub. Even though we lost at Texas, what did Sammy D do? He held one of the best offenses in the country down. And he left that game with you having the opportunity to win it. That's what Friday night guys do. And last night, he was exceptional. What did he do? 6 innings last night. The kid he had 9 Ks. I think he struck out his first 6 out of 8 batters. Dude, Samuel Dutton, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. I did think, didn't he hit a batter? I'm pretty sure he hit a guy. But look, he gives you the opportunity for your offense to not be, moving and grooving, and he's going to hold things down. And he did it last night, right? He did give up the bomb in the 4th. Look, stuff like that happens. I don't care who you are. It happens. You're going to give up home runs. And I think I told Miss Devin in the group chat, in order for Auburn to win this game, you have to keep Mississippi State inside the park. Got to keep them inside the park because they produce majority of their runs off the long ball. Hunter Hines and all those cats, they produce their offense off the long ball. Noah Sullivan hit that one in the 4th off Samuel Dutton last night. And it was off. What started that inning? A leadoff walk. Can't walk, guys. You can't defend walks. They're free passes for a reason, baby. You can't defend them, and they always come back to bite you. So, great job by Samuel Dutton. I think he's electric. He has just been a shot in the arm for the Auburn Tigers and that pitching staff. Whew, man. Shoot, you go up 4-2 in the 4th. Carson Myers, he come in the 7th. EG extended the game to 5-2. You really thought when EG got the base hit, you make it 5-2, and you go up by 3. You really thought that Auburn was going to kind of walk away with this thing, and Auburn was going to coast to a victory. But Carson Myers comes in the 7th. Eric Snow dropped the ball out and right. Look, in my opinion, Ike's got to call him off. But that's what you get with somebody who hasn't played a lot of right field out there for you. And there was a miscommunication. It happens. I don't want to see my second baseman backpedaling out into shallow right field trying to catch a ball when my right fielder is right there who can easily be moving towards that baseball and come in and make the easy catch. I think that was a miscommunication and an error. I don't know on whose part. I'll take it on Ike. You're the right fielder, man. You got to call him off there. I don't know if EG, called Ike and said, hey, move off. I got it. Ball, whatever. It was a mistake that led to a crucial inning for Mississippi State. And it's something that you got to try to avoid with Mississippi State. You can't give them mistakes and free passes, because then they make you pay with the long ball. And they did that last night. And right there in the 7th, you have that error. Next guy finds his way on, and then bang, you give up the 3-run bomb. And it's a tie game in the 7th. It is a tie game in the 7th, 5-5. You felt a little deflated. You were like, oh, no, man, come on. Are we cooked? Has Auburn's offense been rolling enough? Can they get it going? And then you go into the bottom of the 7th, and the guy that I wanted to talk about, Chris Rembert had the great night, but the guy that carries Auburn's offense, that Auburn needs to really get going. And don't get me wrong, don't get me mistaken, it's not Ike Irish. We know Ike and what he does for this. But It's a guy who's been in this program who we need to hit the baseball and really get back on track. And that's Cooper McMurray. And when I say carry the offense, he's that bat behind Ike for protection, man. He's that guy that when you get in the postseason, they're going to pitch around Ike. If there's people on, they're not going to give Ike much to hit. They're going to try to make Ike chase, and they're going to look at guys like Coop, or you could look at Fralick, or whoever's hitting behind Ike. Whoever, it doesn't matter. And they're going to say, hey, we're going to make you beat us. We're going to make you beat us. And you got to prove it to us. And with Coop coming alive, that's a great sign for Auburn going into the postseason. You have to have his stick if you want to make a run to Omaha. You have to. Coop cannot stay down and be cold for the rest of the year. I think he's got to start hitting the long ball again too. But we'll take the double in the bottom of the seventh. Look, two outs. 2 out hitting. That is what we did not do in Austin, Texas against the number 1 team in the country. We had opportunities out there. We had them. They were across the board. We had innings where we had the bases loaded out in Texas. We had innings where we had guys on second. All you needed was a knock with less than 2 outs, and you couldn't get it done. But last night, with 2 outs, Auburn, they stepped up. You got the timely hits. You got the clutch hits. Rembert, McMurray, E.G. It happened last night for the Tigers. We didn't leave the Ducks on the pond. Shoot, what did we have against Georgia Tech the other night? We had bases loaded, 1 out, and couldn't score, or we only got 1 run out of it, something like that. We can't have stuff like that, man. You can't have – look, that'll get you beat in SEC ball. It will get you flat out beat. If you get bases loaded less than 2 outs and you can't score, it will get you beat in SEC ball. It will get you beat. Let's get over here to this comment section. What a game it was last night. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. I know this is about the MSU series, but man, that Georgia Tech game was brutal. Leaving 15 on base with bases loaded twice with 1 out or less and only scoring 1 is crazy. Woo, man, just got it out of my mouth. It will get you beat, Ephesians. It will, my man. It's the quickest way to lose in SEC ball, ACC ball. Y'all know how I feel about college baseball. I think it's a 2-conference league now. With Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 and coming over to the SEC, I think the Big 12 took a massive hit, and I think ACC, SEC, I would love to see 4 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the ACC, make it to Omaha, or you could do 5 and 3 from the SEC. Doesn't really matter, and you battle it out there. Obviously, the Big 10, you know how I feel about Big 10 baseball. I think it's trash. They're buried in the snow for half the season, so I don't really pay attention to a whole lot of Big Ten baseball. The one we went out to Texas and we beat the piss out of Ohio State. That was fun. So Devin says, War Eagle fam, nail biter last night. Glad we came out on top. Yes, Devin, needed that one. Needed to get above 500. Need another win today. Need Cade Fisher to show some life on the mound. And I think he's been pitching with more confidence. You know, look, Texas can hit, and he threw strikes out in Austin. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Cade Fisher was terrible. He threw strikes. He competed. They just hit. And I'll tell you this. I've always said it about baseball, and I always said it last year, and I went back to 23 and said it. In the game of baseball, I'm okay with you throwing strikes and us getting hit. I'm okay with losing that way. If we get knocked around the yard, hey, that's part of it, baby. It's baseball. It's going to happen. But if we continuously walk people, hit batters, you can't defend those things. You can't. It is losing baseball. And you're not going to win many games when you continuously walk people. Auburn was walking 8-9 guys a game in SEC play. That's not going to get it done. That's not cutting the mustard, baby. It's not going to happen. And Cade Fisher competed in Austin, and I'm good with it. It just wasn't the result that we wanted. We didn't hit out there. We put up 3 runs in game 2. Cade Fisher's not going to win many games with his offense giving him 3 runs. It's just not going to happen. I told you before the season started too, in SEC baseball, all right, in SEC baseball, when you get to Saturday and Sunday, those games, Friday night games, you can win 3-2, 4-3, things like that. Saturday and Sunday, you better be putting up 7, 8 runs. You better. Your offense better show up on Saturday and Sunday. Just go check the scoreboard across the league. Look at the Saturday, Sunday games. Last week, Mississippi State and Florida, they had a 14-8 game. It's like that, man. It is like that. Your offense has to roll in the Southeastern Conference. It has to. You can't be putting up 3 and 2 and 2. You can't do it. You're going to lose. Like Mississippi State, they're going to hit bombs. I told y'all that going into the series. If we keep them in the park, we sweep them. If we can't keep them in the park, we're in trouble. And it almost cost us last night. We're up 5-2 and we give up a 3-run bomb in the 7th. It almost cost us. What's up, Rebel Yell? When it comes to postseason play, won't opposing teams just throw their ace so then it's a draw, and after Sammy, our pitching is bad? Okay, so postseason play, Rebel Yell, you start off in a regional, right? And so Auburn, if they continue down this road, they'll be a 1 seed. They'll host in their regional. They'll probably get a top 16 national seed. Hopefully, we're hosting and we don't have to go on the road. So you'll be the 1 seed, and you'll probably, let's just say Stetson will be the 4 seed. So, yes, Auburn would throw their ace, Sammy D, or what they might do is they might throw Cade Fisher against Stetson and then save their ace against let's just say NC State is the 2 seed, which is a projection that has been given. And they might save Sammy D for the winner's bracket game against NC State. What will happen is the 2 and the 3 seed will play, and then the nightcap, the 1 and 4 seed will play. So Auburn will know who they're going to play if they win, and so Sammy D might get that winner's bracket game, let's just say against NC State, and then when you get to the next game, all right, say you beat NC State, you start out 2-0 in regionals, you have to be 2 scooped, which means you have to lose twice, and that still leaves you Alvarez on the bump. That still leaves you Cam Tilley on the bump. That still leaves you Chatterton on the bump. So in regional play, I think Auburn will be okay. You're deep enough that you can maneuver your way through that, and I think Auburn's got enough arms that have showed life for regional play. Now, Super Regional is a 2 out of 3 series. So it's like in the regular season, right? And depending on who you match up with, you're an 11 seed right now in the D1 baseball projections. So, yes, you will host. But in Super Regionals, if Florida State, who is the sixth overall national seed, if they win their regional, then you would have to go to Tallahassee for Supers. And you would be on the road there. But, it doesn't matter. Hey, you win 2 games, you go to Omaha, Nebraska. Now, Omaha is where Auburn's pitching might kind of struggle after Sammy D, right? Sammy D and Cade Fisher. That's why you want to see Cade continue to grow and get better, is because if you can take 2 aces into Omaha, if you can take 2 guys into Omaha, you're going to be really, really dangerous. A lot of teams, they have that one really good guy, that one so-so second guy. He's pretty good number 2 guy. And then it just kind of gets like, for the number 3. Well, if you can take a legitimate Sam Dutton and Cade Fisher into the postseason, you have a really, really solid chance, because Chatterton's been showing some progression in the midweeks. Alvarez, yes, he got touched up against Texas. What did you expect? I told y'all I'm not going to sit here and harp on a true freshman going out and facing that lineup and getting touched up in the first inning. I just wasn't. I knew Auburn was dead in the first 2 games. They weren't going to show up in that 3rd game. It was a middle-of-the-day game on Sunday like it always is, and it was just a bad spot for Alvarez. It was. So I'm not going to sit here and harp on him and down him. He's been electric all season. You still got arms. I'm interested to see who's going to throw Sunday this weekend. Is it Cam Tilley? Do you start Chatterton and throw in 2 innings? I know he threw in the midweek, but do you start him and let him go for a little bit? Well, what is Auburn going to do? Do you go back to Alvarez? I don't think you do. I think you keep him in the pen, keep him stuffed away. Would love to see Cam Tilley get his shot. Why not? Why not? He could be really, really good in that starting role. I don't see how we ever win a 3-game series because after Dutton, it's bad. We may get 3 today from Cade, and who knows tomorrow. Well, Rebel Yell, you swept LSU, so, I mean, you can do it. You can do it. You've won a lot of series this year. You won the Vanderbilt series. You won the Kentucky series. You swept LSU. You can do it, man. The Auburn pitching it's not terrible. It's not. It's not awful. Is it best in the country? No. Is it good enough to win 15, 16 games in the Southeastern Conference? Yes, it is. But I tell you a lot is the Auburn offense the past 2 weeks has laid an egg. There was some life last night, but the Auburn offense, sheesh. We got to be better, man. This pitching staff isn't terrible. It's not. Don't get it twisted. Devin Blake, can you explain how the games are scored for pitchers? What determines who gets the win? Okay, Miss Devin. So when I'll take last night, Sammy D, right? So he went 5 innings. So if you go more than 5, or you go to 5, you are eligible for the win, right? So Sammy D did that, and when we were in the lead when Sammy D come out, we were winning 5-2, right? In the 7th. So Carson Myers started the 7th inning and he gave up the lead. We were tied 5-5. So at that point, when he gave up the lead, Sammy D was no longer the winning pitcher because Auburn was no longer ahead and he was out of the game. So then it falls on to Carson Myers. So Carson Myers would have been eligible for the loss if he would have gave up another, let's just say he would have gave up another 3-run home run and Auburn would have lost this game. Sammy D wouldn't have got the loss. He gets a no decision because it wasn't on him. He wasn't credited those runs. Now, if Sammy D would have started the 7th inning and he would have put 2 guys on and then Carson Myers would have come in and gave up a home run, they would have been credited to Sammy D. That's how that works. And it's the same way in the pro level. You got to get to a certain amount of innings pitched to get a win and all those things. And you got to be ahead when you go out. If you're not, you get a no decision. If you're down when you go out, you're credited for a possible loss. Now, if Auburn, just say last night Mississippi State would have been winning 5-1 and Samuel Dutton would have come out, he would have been eligible for the loss. Now, if Auburn would have come back and won, he would have got, or come back and tied the game, he would have got a no decision. That's how that works. Cade has been getting a lot better. Yes, Devin, he has. He's been pitching with a lot more confidence. He's working on some more pitches. He come into the year with a 2-pitch mix, and look, that's not gonna succeed a whole lot in SEC baseball. It's just not. You got to throw more than 2 pitches because I've had great hitters in this league. I say, hey, what are you? Sorry, right there. I got a text. What's your approach at the plate with a guy who only throws 2 pitches? And they say, well, what we look at is he commanding both pitches? Is he finding the strike zone with both pitches? And if he's not, then we can just sit dead red on one pitch. What pitch is he throwing for a strike? So in Cade's case, let's just say the fastball and the slider, let's just say he's not throwing the slider for a strike and he's throwing his fastball for a strike. Well, you're going to sit on the fastball and you're just going to sit there and wait on the fastball. Let's say he's not throwing his fastball for a strike and he's throwing a slide piece for a strike. Then you're going to say, okay, well, he's not really throwing the fastball for a strike. Let me watch for that slider. Maybe he leaves one over the plate. Maybe I can attack that slider. That's the way they do it. So you got to have a third pitch, man. You got to have that change piece. You got to have that 12-6 curveball, that Sammy D spinner that he throws, and it just comes out, man. When it leaves Sammy D's hands, when he throws that little over the top spinner, that's a piece right there, son. And it's 70 miles an hour. And it looks like a dang fastball coming out the hands. When he lets it go, you're like, oh, my goodness. And then all of a sudden there's that just little hump in it. And nobody's figured it out. Nobody. It's swing and miss 90% of the time. Swing and miss. It's incredible how he gets that pitch over. And he's really, really impressive. I love the intensity Sammy D shows. I need Cade to show a little oomph today. I need him to I don't want you to completely show your emotions on the bump, but I need some oomph out of you. I need a smile. I need some get up, right? That's what I want to see out of Cade Fisher. Levi said that's daddy. Tell my buddy I love him. My wife just pulled me up on YouTube and all that and let my son watch. So sorry about that, y'all. But look, we got to win 2 more this weekend, man. I would love to sweep Mississippi State. Cade Fisher gives us a great opportunity in tonight's matchup. And tomorrow is TBA. We're back to the TBA, baby, to be announced. So love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me, man. It's been a great episode. War Damn Eagle. The Auburn Tigers are 10-9 in SEC play. Let's go win this series. Let's go try to sweep this series. And to hell with Mississippi State. War Damn Eagle.